Yep, we're going to have Cam Beaubier on pole. Bobby Fong in his debut with Attack. They're qualified second. How about Sean Dillon Kelly? Gets that thing up on third. Gagne, Escalante, and Josh Herron. Hayden Gillim, Benjamin Smith, and Ashton Yates. Then we have Bryce Cornbow, Waters, and J.D. Beach. A little further back, Danilo Lewis, Flinders, Campbell, Giannato, Ruling, and Gabriel Da Silva. Also, I believe, on a Honda is Gabriel, so he'll be doing some stock 1000.
Cameron Beaubier on pole. When red lights go off, we're at it. Here we go. Beaubier with a decent launch, but a little bit of clutch chatter. But it looks like he's going to lead us into turn number one, and it's going to be Bobby Fong in second place as he tried to get a run up on the inside of Beaubier, and there's Jake Gagne in third.
And I think that they're going to try to attack Beaubier quickly, so don't be surprised on these brand new Dunlop tires if you see Bobby Fong, who's already going, if he tries to do something with Cameron as they go down into Charlotte's Web this first lap. Cameron late on the brakes as they roll down into there for the first time, and he's going to lead them in and out to attack Yamaha's running second and third. And how about Richie Escalante? He jumps himself from that second row up into fourth place early. So Escalante and this M4 team, as you can see, also what a start from Benjamin Smith. Ben Smith mixing it in there. He's right smacked in between Josh Herron and SDK, who didn't get the best start. Then you have Hayden Gillim just behind them, trying to get that Honda up front.
All right, so number 6 is Tytler Cycles Racing, Cameron Beaubier. Number 50, Bobby Fong in the Attack Performance Progressive Yamaha. That's the R1. His teammate, 32, is Gagne. And then Escalante, who has definitely turned our heads this weekend on the Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki, as that team has seemed to have made a really big jump, at least here at Barber Motorsports Park so far. And Jay, we talked about that Suzuki GSX-R 1000R, and the way it's performing this weekend so far has been awesome.
Yeah, up underneath Herron into Charlotte's Web. So SDK did exactly what he needed to do. He's gotten through early on Herron. Now he can try to chase those four down in front of him. But Greg, they are already almost 1.2 seconds up the road from him.
Sean Dillon Kelly trying to close the gap, equaling.
Oh, man, Escalante out of shape again, and he's going to have to jump. He bails off that bike. Now let's just hope that when he dug in there with his shoulder, Greg, that's the biggest concern. When you run off in the gravel like that, you auger into the gravel, can't get too far away. And it's the same thing again. You're going to see he's on the inside, bike's getting out of shape. Now he's just trying to avoid Gagne. So he lets go of the lever. Now he's going to be trying to pull the brake lever on again, but he's off into the grass and just kind of jumps off the bike. And that's how you do a collarbone right there. When you auger in.
It is,
and
but
I'm hoping that he's okay.
You could see from that if the collarbone's okay.
Bobby Fong has been setting the pace really well, and it's been great to compare data between the two of them and learn from him as much as he can.
Yeah, to your point, Hannah, you know, for Jake,
just what Bobby Fong is doing here. We knew that Cameron Beaubier was going to be fast, but Bobby Fong, of course, last season he led this championship on a privateer Yamaha, an outstanding effort by David Anthony and his ADR team. But as that team was not able to continue on with their Superbike program, because 24 flats for both of them last time by.
100% right. I mean, it's just the beginning of the lap. It's funny, though, because Bobby is really strong through 2, up over the rising 4. And maybe just missed a gear, or something weird might have happened where I saw that gap starting to build up there when they went down into that turn 8-9 area.
Yeah, and this is a new, and I do that in air quotes, Yamaha R1, but really the only changes that we really saw in this motorcycle.
For Benjamin Smith, as we see him come out of that last corner, he's going to get out in the grass.
Yikes.
Do a little curve jumping. So you see Hayden Gillim just behind him as well.
As it looks like another one of the American Honda supported riders, the number 27 of Ashton Yates, not able to continue on his motorcycle currently. We're going to see Ashton in the Superbike and Stock 1000 class during the course of the year. For Bryce, back up front we go as Bobby Fong continues to hound Cameron Beaubier.
Yeah, and you know what? Jake Gagne was really close a lap and a half ago. And look at Fong. He's going to have a shot at Cameron Beaubier right now. There you go.
So Beaubier relegates a position. Bobby Fong takes over onto the front straightaway. This is going to be the halfway point. 10 laps to go. And Beaubier now gets his first look at what Bobby Fong has to offer. Up the inside goes Beaubier side by side, but Fong's going to try to hold it. Oh, he's so wide. Yeah, there you go. So a little bit of familiarity. But yeah, when you looked at the team he was on last year and you look at the team he's on this year, yes, the Yamaha R1 is the same motorcycle you buy off the showroom floor. And then you add a lot of money to make it into a MotoAmerica Superbike.
He was able to run the lap times of the leaders. So it's just very hard to do on your own. Lap after lap is Beaubier. He just kind of looks like he's sitting there right now, doesn't he? As they come on, I think if he can get a little closer coming onto the front straightaway, he'll try something maybe down into turn 1.
Yeah, we'll see if Beaubier's trying to figure out maybe how to stick with Bobby.
But this is going to be a very, very positive race for him, Greg, who's really bummed to see him not be able to see Beaubier goes down the inside.
Okay.
I thought it might happen in turn 1, and that's exactly where he takes advantage. So now Bobby isn't going to be able to take as much advantage coming on the exit of this corner as he has been before. He's going to be right in behind Cam. So we've seen this now. We got about a lap and a half to go. Bobby's going to put himself on the left-hand side of Beaubier, but Beaubier's so strong into the Charlotte's Web areas. He's going to run wide, isn't he? So he gets in there a little bit deep, a little bit wide. Bobby falling underneath him. Cam's going to hold him off.
And look up ahead of the racetrack. We have some lap traffic in play. Now there are blue flags that'll fly to indicate to this traffic that you should get out of the way. So Joe Giannotto gets out of the way for this battle and has to run a little bit wide.
So Dion now is right there, and you can see Bobby had to wait just a little bit. Is that the race? Now Bobby's whole plan from right this point on, Greg, is to try to ramp up to those last few corners and try to sneak up the inside of Beaubier through those big, long, triple right-hand corners at the end of the lap. Now, will he be able to get close enough? That's another story.
All right, so here we go for Fong. Halfway through the final lap of this race number 1 here at Barber Motorsports Park in Superbike. First race of the season. And the 88 of Max Flinders also right in a position. We'll see if Beaubier is going to be able to get around him. This section is very one line as Flinders, very experienced in this class, looks over his shoulder at the perfect time. And Beaubier, when he needed it, a pass into turn number 1, and he has turned the screws. And Beaubier goes fastest sector 3 of the race this late in the race with 20 laps on the tires, a 21.1 in sector number 3. Beaubier is making sure he's going to win this one.
And you watch how tight he's going to keep it all the way through this big long right. There is going to be zero chance that you're going to be able to go up underneath him there as he runs it in there deep, Greg. And he just literally put the hammer down on this last lap, did Beaubier.
Onto the front straightaway comes the number 6, Cameron Beaubier. He takes his Tytler Cycles BMW to a win, the maiden win in 2025. Bobby Fong after an outstanding performance in second. And Jake Gagne arrives to the line in third place. So a BMW win and Yamaha 2-3. And the battle for 8th place as Sean Dillon Kelly comes across the line in 4th. There's JD Beach and the number 17 of Bryce Kornbaugh. They're getting after it. JD looking for this solid top 10 finish. He's in 8th place. As they come in the final section, the door's not open. JD slams it shut. So for Kornbaugh, no opportunity unless he tries to drive on him. Here comes the Honda CBR 1000 RR-R onto the front straightaway, and JD Beach will bring it home in 8th place. Kornbaugh in 9th. Also set the fastest top speed run, pushing his own air, 156.4 miles per hour. What a race by Cameron Beaubier. He had to work hard for this one. When we get back, Hannah's going to talk to him in victory lane and find out how it went.
The checker flag, take those wins today like he did when he thought he had it, but just make sure you don't make any big mistakes. That's the things with the vets as he's talking about. They have that experience where experience brings less mistakes usually, and so he just wants to keep it clean.
All right, let's talk about this racetrack in the rain. We've certainly seen it before. How does it change?
Well, that changes. We talked so much this weekend with elevation, and with the elevation means puddles in some spots. The water on some of these rises has to go somewhere, but for the overall, the most part, this track is really good in the wet. The grip's really well.
It was Cameron Beaubier by less than a second over Fong and Gagne. Then Sean Dillon Kelly in his debut on Superbike for the Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki team.